Happy Sunday morning, everybody. It is time for the Positively Petland Show on 800 KXIC and KXIC.com. Always a pleasure to have Ron Solzrud, co-owner of Petland of Iowa City, in studio. Ron, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. How are you doing, Jerry?
Wonderful. I'm excited to hear about I can't pronounce the breed of the week's name.
The Bernadoodle?
The
Yeah, you know, sometimes we say it so many times that, yeah, that is a mouthful, isn't it?
Bernadoodle.
Bernese Mountain Dog mixed with a standard poodle. So if it was, and just for your information, if they called it a mini Bernese Doodle or Bernadoodle, mini Bernadoodle, then that would be with a miniature poodle. And you might say, well, wait, how do you make a 13-pound dog mate with a 100-pound dog? They do it artificially. That's how they make that happen. So the Bernese, so people like doodles.
Messing with science. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it is. I've been doing a lot of research on messing with science lately. Tesla, here, Jerry, little science on the side here. What is Tesla known for?
Inventing radio?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. You did an advanced Tesla just now. Tesla is the inventor of our alternating current that we use as our electrical source, and then the three-phase motor. That's all fun and dandy. Then he actually on the radio.
We just went off. It's off the rails right now.
Yeah, but he envisioned doing waves through the air, and everybody said, "You are crazy. That won't work." After he died, they actually gave him the patent for radio.
You're absolutely right, is that he came up with the idea that you could create this basically a huge generator that would send the current out, and it never
yes. Yeah.
It was never feasible. Right. There was more damage. But anyway.
But Tesla's an interesting story. Check that one out. All right. Bernadoodle. So the Bernese Mountain Dog, just a little bit about the Bernese. So history of the Bernese, we'll do that, and then the poodle. Bernese Mountain Dogs originated in Switzerland and is named for the canton of Bern. Historically, Berners were used as general purpose farms. Their large, sturdy frames and calm confidence temperaments made them ideal for pulling carts to market, driving dairy cattle, watching the farm, and acting as companions to the farm. So that's one side of the Bernadoodle. The other side of the Bernadoodle, and as I'm pulling it up here real quick, is the standard poodle in the case of the breed that we have in our store. Do you remember what is the primary purpose of a poodle? Do you know what they were designed for?
Show dogs.
No.
Well, they are show dogs.
Well, I guess technically all dogs are show dogs, aren't they? AKC shows the dogs, and they show all the different breeds. And so the history of the poodle, here it is. The breed originated in Germany as a water retriever. It was a hunting dog. And so that's an interesting thing. Let's see if it gets into it here. The stylish poodle clip was designed by hunters to help the dogs move through the water more efficiently. The patches of hair left on the body are meant to protect the vital organs and joints, which are susceptible to cold. The standard variety is the oldest of the three varieties. So standard meaning size in this case. So that's a little history on both of them. So people like the Bernese Mountain Dog. One thing that they don't like about the Bernese Mountain Dog is that it's a massive shedder. It's a big dog with loose hair that sheds. So people, they did this with the Golden Doodle and the Labradoodle. They mixed the Labrador with poodle, the Golden Retriever with a poodle. Now the Bernese Mountain Dog with a poodle. And this has been going on for a little bit. It's nothing brand new. But it's kind of new for people to see them like, oh, I haven't heard of that one before. So what they're trying to do is make it a little less shedding. So when we go back to the characteristics of both of those, the Bernese Mountain Dog is kind of a lumbering. It needs exercise, but it's kind of slower in what it does, especially as it ages. But it's a companion animal and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really nice pet, but big. You got to love big dogs like Jerry does. Jerry loves big dogs. But if you're like in that stage of, but there's too much shedding, and for that reason, I don't want a Bernese Mountain Dog. Now, a Bernadoodle is something to consider. It's going to be less shedding. So whenever you see a doodle, know that it's less shedding. It doesn't go to that poodle all the way. It's just somewhere along the continuum. When you do second generations, if you've heard of the doodles with second generations, it just means that they bred it back to a poodle to make it even less shedding. One of the benefits of putting the poodle in there, poodles are very smart dogs. And so they are easy to train. Detriment or a bad thing about that is they are very smart dogs and they can train you very easily as well. So when people will say, oh, I'm getting irritated with my dog, sometimes it's a smart dog and it's saying, I want my way and I know how to get it because I've pushed your button enough, and that's how they do it, through diligence. And they've like kind of irritated you. So know that when you mix the poodles in, you gotta be focused on training. That is the key there. So that's the Bernadoodle and how they get the Bernadoodle and all that kind of stuff, and a little bit about the characteristics. Very smart dog. Is going to be a little more active than a Bernese Mountain Dog because of the poodle in there. Little less shedding. So Bernese with a poodle, the Bernadoodle.
I like less shedding dogs.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Do you know what the consequence of a less shedding dog is? I didn't know this until I got one.
No, but you're going to tell me.
It's very obvious, like when I say it, and I just didn't get it until I got it. The grooming. You got to do a lot more grooming on those.
Sure.
You got to take them to the groomers. You got to comb them out. You got to use hair conditioners. There's just a lot of.
Have to.
No, I guess you don't, Jerry. I don't know where you're going with that one.
You don't have to use hair conditioners on a dog.
Au contraire, you'll get matting if you don't do that.
But they're not going to die.
No. Okay, Mr. Extreme.
I'm just saying that you don't have to groom.
You don't have to. You're right, Jerry.
Half is too strong of a word. I'm being a realist. Don't have to groom.
It's highly recommended.
Highly recommended, but you don't have to.
All right. So
deal with facts.
There you are. So that is, so less shedding, and I'm with you on that one. I just didn't realize how much grooming, kind of is needed to keep them looking beautiful and all that kind of stuff. So moving on. What I wanted to add to this show is a tip of the week, because that's something that we see continuously in our store is poor behaving dogs coming in and the owner like not knowing what to do.
Do you ever see that bad behaving dog and then look at the owner and go, oh, that's why?
There are some generalities. Sometimes you can do, but
I do all the time. I look at it. I look at a dog going, you know what? I understand why you're a little bit messed up. Look at the owner.
What I see is if the kids are going crazy, the dog's usually going crazy too. And if the kids are well behaved and asking for permission, the dog seems to be asking for permission in its own way as well. So yeah, I see some generalities in there, but we all can go down the path of a nice, obedient dog that is not going crazy and all that kind of stuff. Some tips on the front end, and Jerry, you love this, I believe. Keys to training are consistency. So you don't like give up and not do it and then start it back up a week later and then not do it. Consistency is keep on going the course. Sometimes you need a little support when that happens, like you're frustrated with it. Just look a week or a month back and say, hey, is it getting better? And you'll find that it usually is getting better. Just stay the course, kind of a thing. Second thing is the repetitiveness of the training. The dog, the first time you do training, you're only going to do this 5-10 minutes a day or a couple times a day, but it's really brief. But they have to be repetitive in order for the dog to understand. You can't speak English. Well, Jerry might not be able to speak English, but the dog can't speak English, and you don't speak bark. And so the way we do it is through maybe a one-word command, maybe it's a hand gesture, maybe it's an action of some sort. You gotta be repetitive so that they understand, oh, you want me to do this when you do that, is a key. And then have a great incentive. That's the third key to all of this. Dogs are very food motivated. And so that's why we love treats for our dogs. Well, we love to give them to them. Well, why not associate a command or a sit or a stay or something every time you give them a treat? So today I wanted to hit sit. How do you get a dog that does not sit today to eventually get better and better at sitting? And if you have a puppy, the easiest way to do it is get a treat in your hand, get them to understand what a treat is. Okay, it tastes good, it's licking it and all. Don't give it to them though. Let them lick it, have it kind of between your forefinger and your thumb, and then present it to, right to their mouth and let them lick it. Okay, you got their attention. Now push forward so that you actually push into the dog's nose, get that nose pointed upward a little bit, and now they're gonna start stepping backwards. 80-70% of the time, they're actually going to put their butt down at that point. And when you see that butt go down, say sit, give them the treat. And that's how you get them to associate a command with an action there. Now, repetitiveness is what helps them understand that, oh, when you say sit or you put your hand in a certain way, you want me to put my back end down. First time you do it, they have no idea what just happened. Second time, they have no idea. 10, 20, 30 times from now, they're going to go, hey, I'm starting to get to see a relationship here of when you say sit and I put my butt down, you give me that treat. And they're going to figure that out. And that's how you train in general. And for sitting, it's just getting it in between your thumb and your forefinger, let them have a taste. Now push backwards so they have to walk backwards. Bottom will sit down 70% of the time. Sometimes you can give them a little tap on the butt. It goes down. Now say sit, give them the treat. So that's the key to training your dog to sit. We're gonna go through some other training tips in the future: how to get my dog to not jump up, how to get my dog to stay, how to get all those different things, so that you have a well-trained dog that, let's say in the morning is crazy. What we do in our house is we go sit, and when they hear that, our dogs sit and stop the mayhem that they're doing right now because they're just so happy that you're up and everything. So sit was the tip of the day. What are we going to talk about next? Poop. Let's talk poop.
Or
yes. Do you have a question?
No, I didn't have a question. I was just going to say 12 minutes and 29 seconds.
And we said it, I think, maybe on the front end. I don't know.
You did during the promo, but not for the actual show.
We love to say the word poop because that's just the mentality.
You like to say the word poop. I just have to endure it.
Sometimes we get in there. All right. So digestive health for your dog, cat, and a lot of these tips will actually work for other pets in your home. But for the dog and cat, we recently took our daughter's dog in for about a week or two because he had some digestive issues. First, we thought, well, maybe he had caught a virus, an intestinal virus. So we had him tested. I went to our veterinarian, Dr. Ebert. She looked at it, said, nope, nothing's going on there. You just have, little poop issues here. So she prescribed a food, a very bland food, and probiotics.
Mm-hmm.
So we went, okay, let's do that. So we've been working with them, and it's just interesting to see how different things work. So know some key things if your dog is having a little bit of poop issues. If it's runny, if it's liquid, there is a product called by Nature Vet Diarrhea Health. We actually use that on our little Fitzy. That's who we're working with our daughter. To see if we can strengthen up the poop a little bit. And I looked at the bottle, and it's a lot of fiber and some other stuff in there. So know that on extreme cases, you can use that kind of product. First, we went to the veterinarian, see if there's any issues. Nope, there's not any issues. This is more just of a digestive thing. So then we started working up the ladder. Diarrhea Health by Nature Vet helped us get things kind of slowed down in the digestive tract. We then used the prescription food that she prescribed. I just was reading the ingredients and everything, and what I read is there was a lot of bland things in there, rice type things that made it so that there's nothing odd going on in that intensive that the digestive tract has to handle. Then I also noticed that it had a lot of probiotics in there. So we decided to add a probiotic of our own because we had it in the house. If Probiotics are very similar to or in the same line of yogurts and things like that. When we are eating those, if we have a little bit of an issue, hey, eat some yogurt and it helps you out. Same concept there. For dogs, they just have it in a powder form. So he was getting the probiotic in the food and he was getting it in his water. There's soluble probiotics that you can do. So we added that to the mix. After about a week, it took a week for his digestive tract to develop the correct bugs and all that kind of stuff. We noticed that a dramatic improvement occurred. Still a little soft at this point, but we saw consistency. So then we put him back on his normal food that was fine in the first place, but all of a sudden we got a little bit off track. And then it is now tightening it back up. And we're actually right in the middle of this process right now where he's got the nice Tootsie Roll firm stools. We're gradually putting him back onto his diet that he's at right now, and moving that forward. So those are some tips. So key things: bland diets, bring them back in. You can even feed rice directly to your dog. Go with the diarrhea health kind of products where they are going to put more fiber in there. You can add additional fiber. We have pumpkin in a can, specially made for dogs and cats, and it has some other probiotics in there. It's called Digestive Health. So you can use the pumpkin as a way to firm things up or to loosen things up. It goes both ways depending on the extreme. And then gradually bring them back in to their original diet if you want to continue down that path, to see if maybe the diet, if you go back to your original diet and you go back to problems, his whole health might have changed there and you might need to change his diet up a little bit. If you're still scratching your head, make sure you involve your vet. We did it on the front end, make sure that everything health-wise was going right. And it was just, kind of a digestive health issue that you work with on the food and the fiber, like we said, in the probiotics. So how are we doing with time?
You got about 3 minutes.
Okay, we got enough time to wrap this thing up then. If you don't know, we are Petland of Iowa City. Myself, Ron, and Wendy, we bought that store 12 years ago.
That's a long time ago, Ron.
I know. We're working on that 13 right now. We're looking at, we're back into moving forward on the, do we remodel? Do we move across the parking lot?
This has been going on for a year.
No, it's over a year, Jerry. I held it back for a while, but we are getting estimates now. So it's finally moved to that level, and we've never been to that level before. So hopefully we get this done before Christmas. But you know us for all the pets that we have in the store, the puppies, the kittens that we have in the store. We have a lot right now of unplanned litters of kittens. So come in and check them out. We just got some kittens available this week, so they're tiny and all that. And then all of our others. We got rabbits, guinea pigs, ferrets, hamsters. Got to check out all those new hamsters that we just got in. Fish, reptiles, and all the fun stuff.
And it's pretty cool also, obviously, with Rob closing down Paul's and making that hard decision. As a business owner, the day will come that you're going to decide to walk away from Petland of Iowa City. But the fact that Paul's, after so many years, 36 years in Iowa City, closed down, it was a staple. Rob is a wonderful human being. The fact that you stepped up and said, you know what, I'm going to take over all of his line, or Paul's line, and now have it at the stores is a huge piece of being a business owner in Iowa City.
Right. And we worked with the suppliers on it because we wanted to get those great prices that you were paying for it. And so we've got that all. We actually are one-upping it in that we've got it on our buy 10, get one free program as well. So it's like getting 10% off of what you just paid as well. So sign up for that. And we track it for you so that when you get that 11th bag, we have a party for you. We give it to you for free.
Confetti falls down from the sky. Balloons come up from behind the counter.
Jerry pops his head out.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Hey, guys. Congratulations.
Jinx, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't talk anymore. It's the Positively Petland show on Iowa City's news.
I can laugh.
You can laugh. You can do anything you want, Ron. Positively Petland show Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on Iowa City's news and sports station, 800 KXIC. Have a great week.
Thank you.